All right, guys, real quick here. I just want to add this. Matter of fact, I'll probably just add this into another video. But I went ahead and done some pre-prepping here. I have cleaned a lot of these sucker sprouts out. Everything's clipped off, knocked down. You know, all that right there was stealing sunlight. It's all out of the way. I went around the whole island, cleaned it out. And now I'm adding trace mineral to the soil. I'm still using this, and I have put an extremely heavy coating on this back side over here. And when I plant my fall blends, you should see a better start back here on this part of the island than normal. But I use very heavy coatings. Beyond what the bag says. I treat bags like that as a guideline, but if you know your soil's in rough shape, you can apply heavier amounts. That's the way I've always viewed it, and it's worked well for me. If your soil's in much better shape than mine, then going the heavy route may result in something you don't want, and that could be other trace minerals devouring each other and canceling each other out once they get too high. I'm going to do another video too on soil amendments and the extreme value of liming. This is a huge problem that I've dealt with a long time, is acidic soil. So I will address that in its own video. But real quick, you can see this whole back side over here is just almost looks like sandy soil right now. But that's just really heavy coatings of trace mineral. Browse on the vetch is continuing to rapidly increase. Matter of fact, it's worked its way out into this little group now. So there's a deer in here liking it now. Yay, absolutely yay. On this side, a lot of the dust traveled into these taller plants, and you can tell it affected them because they didn't care for it too much. You can see how the vetch is folded up. I'll get into that when I do the vetch video. That's not harming them. It's just something the plant does. So trace mineral, whole backside, all over the place, all over me. It's going to be a great day when this right here takes off, and I will be cutting down that dead oak. More light. That dead oak, it sucks to lose oak trees, but that's a chestnut oak over here that's died, and they are like on the bottom end of what our deer like around here. They have a very bitter taste. So now my big white oak gets to take that space over, and some of these other oaks out here. So quick video, it's getting dark, and I will edit this in the other video, so y'all have a good one. All right, guys, fall preparations video number 1 for 2024. Fall season has arrived. Sometimes in the morning now you can feel cool air, feels like fall. I have oak nuts that are just starting to fall now. They probably have been for the last 2 or 3 days, just a slow trickle. And they're only going to get more numerous as time goes on. So right now, to me, is a good time to plant. I have heavy rain, or possibility of at least some good rain, this weekend, starting Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, if everything holds up. So I'm going to go ahead and risk the planting. The forecast may change and we may end up getting nothing, and I've blown it. But I'm going to see what happens anyway. Might as well take the risk. I think right now is a good time. This will develop, if it does rain as planned, this will develop better than last year, because I had a 15-week drought and it was just absolutely horrible, and I couldn't get nothing to come up until hunting season in November. So this time I think we're going to do the opposite. We're going to be better suited because there will be rain this time around from a tropical storm. All right, guys, so let's get into what I'm going to do here as far as planting. I know many of you have asked about what I'm setting out this year. So we have the green cover, which is what I have covered in the previous video, which this is a leftover bag. So I can at least turn this up here so you can see it. If you have to, you can pause and see that seed count there. Now, this is my crimson mix I'm going to add in. It's a pure bag of crimson and a little bag of chicory that's rated for a 1/4 acre plot. So therefore, I will not use this whole bag. Most likely, I will just use a medium-sized handful and mix it into my main seed bag. I also have this. That $24.99 is not true. I got this on discount. Sometimes I go seed shopping during times when nobody wants it. So I got this bag for $7. I think that's a heck of a deal. Like I said in a previous video, I'm very picky about buying bags of seed off standard store shelves. But you can see I am adding additional peas, different versions of peas here. Like I say, you can pause the video if you want to. And this will help here. Also, this bag here was on clearance as well. Got it for $3. Last one they had. And I'm good with that. So there you go again. You can pause the video if need be. You can see the germination rate there. So that is going to be my mix, except there is one seed that I am missing, and that's because the bag is busted. So I'll come back up here Thursday and add it in, but that is red top clover. I will sprinkle that in lightly through here. I don't have to have a heavy amount of it. And also there is a bag at the house of ladino clover that is also got a crack in it, and I didn't want to risk pulling it out and shattering it and lose my seed. So Thursday I'll be coming back up here to sprinkle in ladino clover and red top clover amongst this mix. So that'll be my planned version this year. And let's see here, let's take a look at some of this seed real quick. You know, a lot of times I just get caught up in the mixes and don't really show some of the seed that's in here. But we'll get to that. These are supposed to be easy pull strings, and sometimes they don't pull so easy, which this one is trying to be difficult. There we go. All right, so here's what some of that looks like. You can see the coating on the seeds. That is bacteria, mycorrhiza fungi coating on them seeds. The big round seeds are your winter peas. Then you got oats, cereal rye. There's some turnip in there. So I love that seed. Works extremely well and really helps my soil. So now I'm going to mix another seed into here. Just give me a second. And that's going to be my chicory. So I'm just going to put a little bit of it in here, not a lot. It's also got a coating on it. There we go, that's good enough. Then I can choose to dump crimson clover in there. It's also got a coating. You can see it way down in there, which is this. It is not bacteria coating, that is a fertilizer coating designed to boost the plants. So I've got fertilizer in the yellow and bacteria on the rest of the seed. So let me get in here, mix that up a bit. that coating can be something you don't want to breathe. I would recommend staying away from that and let the wind get rid of it. So that's what I'm going to do. And now I'm going to start hand broadcasting. It's a bit more of an inaccurate method, but at least I will coat this heavy enough to where it shouldn't matter. There might be one or two spots here that maybe I didn't do it good enough, but that's what extra seed is for. And I'll just simply do this for the whole plot. And it also helps when you get these coatings like this, it helps to broadcast with your back to the wind, and it's kind of swirling, so one minute it is and the next minute it's not. So I'm going to have some fun with that. So I'm going to end the video here so I can finish doing my broadcasting. I may try to film some tilling, and then you'll see the finished product. So hang on tight, guys. All right, guys, the island is officially planted. It was just the quarters are still too tight for me to feel comfortable enough filming this, unless I get like a camera mount that I am comfortable with that can hold it in place while I do this and not have to worry about it. But I've got it knocked down. We have, you know, the beginnings of some rotting biomass in here. It's not, you know, this is not top notch. And I'm telling you right now, when it comes to tilling, I literally skimmed this ground. See, didn't even bury my fingernail in there. Lightly skimming the ground. Still finding rocks. So we are making improvements here. I found several more big roots that were rotted. Got them out of the way, so that'll give more space for something else to grow. And of course, filling in these holes and divots right here so nobody breaks an ankle. I may come back and tighten this up right here just a little. I'm not sure yet. I need to get rid of these stumps. If this stump wasn't here, this right here would be cut down, or tilled down, I should say. Same with that stump. I left this standing because there is sorghum in here, and quite a bit of it made seed heads. So I'm not going to take that and till it down. So I seeded really heavily in this spot because I'm not burying seed. Although if the seed does manage to survive and coons and other animals don't get a hold of it, then this will naturally bury it when these leaves fall off. Unless the deer just browse it to nothing, which I don't think that's going to happen right now. You can see where the burn pile kicks in. Right? We have a totally different color of soil here. That, to me, if you told me that's what your soil looked like, I would say you got some super healthy ground. But this still has a ways to go. But the more of these I'm getting out, the better I feel about it. Now that's rotting fungus. I'll keep that. That can go into the burn pile. Just another rotted root, probably off a stump remnant. That'll help increase tonnage a little bit. And besides, that's fewer competing roots in the soil. That should help spur better growth. More of these tree roots are dying now. And it's not these standing trees, it's all the previous trees I cut down a few years ago. Finally giving up the ghost. But I'm happy. We'll see now if it rains. And hopefully this will come up really thick. I sowed this very heavy. I used the entire 35-pound bag plus some of the other bags mixed in with this. So I probably used a grand total of 37 to 38 pounds of seed total. And that's roughly a 1/4 acre plot right now. So next focus is stump burning if and when I get time. And then we're going to see if this actually grows. Another thing that I'm actually going to do, I forgot to mention this, I'm going to come back in here and add humic acid very heavily in here. I'm also going to add some fertilizer in here before the rain gets here to try to stimulate this really heavily. I want this to be at least established really well before these leaves come off. That'll help me out a lot when it comes to cleaning this back off as far as removing leaf litter. So there it is, guys. First part of fall preparations is done. The only thing I'm going to kind of sparingly do is just go through here and pick up rocks and big roots or sticks that's in the way, and increase my burn pile over here and try to get rid of that bad boy before long. Have a good one, guys. All right, guys, I'm coming in to do some more preparations for the island. It is planted, and I wanted to redo some things differently, which would have been apply soil amendments first, but I didn't really have the time, so I had to hurry and plant while I was up here and then go take care of business. So I'm doing fertilizing now. The seed is obviously nowhere near ready to sprout. It's only been laying in here less than a day, barely less than a day. And I'm going to go ahead and add my soil amendments, which is, I'm trying to burn up the last of my synthetic fertilizer and transition away after this. But I'm using some triple 19, which I put all 50 pounds of the triple 19 in there. I'm also adding 12, 24, 24. I had about 5 pounds left over in this bag, and there's a grand total of 55 pounds of fertilizer in this dispenser. So I'm going to coat the island pretty heavily this time, and I want to make sure that my nutrient flow is good. I want this established. It may, in some cases, may be a little too hot, but with this ground, I kind of doubt it. If you multiply what I put in here by 4, you're looking at a fertilizer rate of 220 pounds per acre. My old plot, or my main plot, I was putting 400 plus per acre when I first started. So I'm not putting any more strength to it than what I did in the main plot. But with the way that's grown over there, you know, I don't know if that really needs much more fertilizer. Very, very little. But the rest of this grew very bad, which is a combination of poor soil and low light and water retention problems. Before I get going on this, I'm going to do another soil sample for you. You can compare this to last year. Last year I pulled nothing but fluffy dirt out when I first broke this place up for the first time. This year, we have a difference, right? Big difference. We have rotting organic matter in my hand mixing with this soil. The soil itself is also a shade or two darker than last year. This was mostly white, and this is bone dry soil. And I can tell you right now, that's darker than last year. So the organic matter has increased. Water retention has greatly increased. I say I could probably hold at least another 2 inches of rain in here now compared to what I did in the past under most locations. You know, this corner didn't grow as well, so I could probably hold maybe an extra inch in the corner. The back half here wasn't quite as thick. Probably an inch to inch and a half. This middle and this whole area here, probably 2 inches or so of additional rainfall. So I'm going to go ahead and try to film and broadcast this a little bit, and then I'm going to end the video so that way you at least know I am putting this out here to get this place going. And I see a problem already. Let's open that up a little bit more. A little bit more. There we go. So I'm just making sure that I'm adding enough nutrients here to help this soil out as much as possible. We'll go a little higher than that. There we go. That's better. That sounds a lot better. So now, putting out heavy coat. We've got a lot of rocks here to pick up. Removing a lot of rocks. All right, so that's hard enough doing this one-handed. So I'm basically laying the fertilizer out. I'm also going to do the same approach with humic acid. And I'll spread it out probably at 25 pounds here. And then we'll go from there. So you all have a good day. I'm going to finish getting this ready because rain is on the way. Have a good one.